Hey guys, welcome back to MuscleMentor.net. I'm Brad Hall. This is Justin Harris, and we're on Skype right now, and we are just going to talk a little bit about. I had a question the other day concerning doing a protein shake post-workout. Is it better because it gets absorbed more rapidly as opposed to a whole food meal? And my opinion, or my we'll call it educated opinion, is this: if you're worried about protein being absorbed, being uptaken quickly post-workout, chances are you're doing it wrong. So that throughout the day, your 6 meals or your 5 meals or whatever your meals throughout the day should have whole protein sources, which are going to take a while to get absorbed. Like protein isn't like a waxy maize or some type of carbohydrate that's just going to get sucked down through the gut, and once it's there, then all of a sudden your body just keeps a tally of, oh, he's had this many grams of protein. That's not what matters. What matters is that steady stream of amino acids in the blood, which is what we kind of call like the positive nitrogen balance, meaning that your body has that steady amount of aminos. So when the muscles need to do protein synthesis, all those aminos are available. So as far as the protein shake post-workout, I mean, you can. I'm not against it. It's not a bad idea, but I wouldn't say that it's better than a whole food meal. In fact, I think the whole food meal is just going to set you up better for the next 3 hours or the next 5 hours, the next whatever. I think we talked about this before, where you said if you ate a steak 6 hours ago and you throw up after your workout, chances are you're going to throw up steak because it's not going to be fully digested yet. And that's one of the great things, and I think it has to do with all of your diet. The things you did the day before are going to be more important than what you did directly before your training. The glycogen gets loaded the day before. It doesn't get loaded, the meal before. You can't eat 600 grams of carbs the meal before you go train, and it's all going to be, in your muscles. So that's my opinion. Justin, go ahead.
I say let's look at it analytically by the numbers. Let's break it down, and so no guesswork's involved. I say all the time, you convert 20 grams of protein a day to new muscle. That's 75 pounds in 5 years. That's taking your 200-pound state competitor and in 5 years making him a 275-pound contest-ready Ruly Winkler. So that's a massive growth. That's 20 grams of protein a day.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 24 hours in a day. So roughly your best bet is about 1 gram of protein per hour can actually convert to new muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think what's going on. You work out, you create this stimulus for protein synthesis. And so amino acids are flowing around the blood, and that once per hour, that 1 gram gets to convert to muscle. So you want to make sure that there's always that protein available, because that's not all 20 grams aren't happening at once. And even if they are happening at once, it's only 20 grams.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're taking 50 grams of fast-acting protein after a workout, trying to build a bunch of muscle, you're not converting 50 grams of protein. Because if you were, not in 5 years, you want to be that 275-pound Ruly Winkler, you'd be a 400-pound who knows what. So that's
Ow. Yeah.
So when you're eating a fast protein, what happens is the vast majority of that protein isn't used as a protein; it's used as a carbohydrate.
And we did a video on that. So if people want to go back and look that up in the archives, it was one of the very first ones we did too. So
yeah, and you can actually make yourself hypoglycemic if you take a Pepto Pro type protein that makes really rapidly digesting protein. Drink a bunch of it, and don't have any carbs with it. You can make yourself hypo. You can even use insulin with just protein, and it's even easier if you use a fast-acting protein. So what that says is the vast majority of that protein isn't being used as a protein in the body; it's used as a carbohydrate. So there's really no point. And secondly, if you need a fast-acting protein after your workout because you're depleted in blood amino acid levels, that's a bigger problem than whether or not you should drink a fast-acting protein or not, because you never want to be depleted in amino acids. And so I agree with you. I think, in some cases it's easier to have a way.
Yeah, I'm not against it, but I don't think it's better than.
Muscle building is a long, slow process. It trickles in. It's 1 gram per hour is about the best you can hope for. And so you want to make sure there's always that gram in the bloodstream every hour. You don't want to peak, because a spike in amino acids isn't going to make more than, you're still only getting that 1 gram an hour. So rather than have spikes, you want a steady plane where there's always amino acids. And so I think you'll see what bodybuilding's probably the one sport. I don't really follow other sports that closely, but I think it's the one sport where every amateur seems to think they need to do things totally different than every pro. Every you know every pro trains a certain way. Every you go on whatever amateur thinks is good form lifting seems to be the opposite of form of what the top guys do. The top guys all lift explosively, and every amateur says those pros use crappy form. Every pro eats whole food after their workout. Every amateur thinks, well, I can't do that. I need to get, I don't have this genetic.
They're on more stuff, so I shouldn't eat the same way.
I always think of it. There's an old Simpsons episode where Bart Simpson gets sent down to the special ed class.
He says, I remember that.
He says, "Let me get this straight. We're supposed to catch up to the other students by going slower than them."
Right.
And that's basically what I think that what most amateur bodybuilders do is they think, well, I can't train the way the pros train. I don't have their genetics, but somehow I'm going to catch up to them by doing things less effectively than them.
Right.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think whole food just about all the time. Protein drinks for when it's easier to have a protein shake or when you can't make a whole food meal.
Right.
Rather, I tend to stick to whole food.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, unless it really is like an appetite issue or something like that, and then even then I'm gonna pair some type of fat with it to try and slow it down.
Yeah. And then I guess there is. Well, I have people use essential amino acids during their workout, and I keep talking about protein synthesis, creating new muscle tissue. But there's also the problem is when you work out and train, you break down proteins.
Yeah.
And so I do like to have higher levels of essential amino acids in the bloodstream during the workout, not to build new muscle, but to help repair that muscle as it's being broken down. But even then, even a hard training athlete probably only breaks down about 50 grams of protein a day. And I remember having a professor in college talk about how bodybuilders were so stupid because they ate so much protein, and he explained how a long distance runner actually needed more protein than a bodybuilder. And he would explain how weight training only breaks down about 50 grams of protein a day, where running a marathon breaks down 100 grams of protein a day. So clearly the marathon runner needs more protein. And I didn't have the balls at the time because I needed a good grade.
Yeah.
No, bodybuilders aren't looking to just replace the muscle they're burning. They want to build new muscle. They need more protein on top of it. But
well, hopefully he's watching this.
Yeah.